hours now takes 20 minutes because of the automation of that. I'm going to be really excited about continuing to dive in with our customers to develop new strategies and new
Right,
ways to
right.
use it, right? And how we can help them be more productive and efficient.
Are you worried about killer robots and AI taking over the world? Is that something you guys are working on in Skunkworks somewhere in IBM?
I mean,
Tech News Today.
Hello and welcome to Tech News Today, or TNT. My name is Keith Parks. We conduct over 250 technology solution educational events a year to empower industry peers in making the most informed decisions for their environments. Our forums are not only technical, but also address the business implications of each technology application, making them ideal for both business executives and IT team members. In today's session, we'll focus on AI, real-world examples, and the business case for utilizing AI. We also have a special guest today, Kevin Nugent. He is a member of the IBM Data and AI Global team. We'll discuss the why, the need for AI in business, and a few repeatable wins businesses can adopt to generate a return on investment and future profits from AI. Now I'm going to introduce Kevin Nugent to provide additional thoughts and expertise on putting AI to work. Okay, hey everybody, so let's go ahead and introduce today's guest speaker, Kevin Nugent, Senior Data and AI Global IBM Partner Sales. Hey Kevin, how you doing today?
good, Keith. Happy to be here, and great to talk again.
Awesome. Well, really appreciate you joining us today. This should be a good conversation. A lot of exciting things going on inside of AI. If you don't mind, maybe just go into a couple of questions. And I guess it's really interesting as far as the timing of what's going on. Maybe you could just jump into this. As far as what are some of the biggest opportunities in the industry you see out there at this moment from an AI standpoint?
Yeah, thanks, Keith. So I think with the explosion of foundation models and large learning models, it's really brought the attention to how we can operationalize AI in the business and really find benefits from it. And so, with all the foundation models that are available, really the low-hanging fruit today are around large language as well as code. So from a large language perspective, right, we're seeing a lot of opportunity within the customer care space, right? Improving customer service, call centers, IVR systems, and being able to improve and create actionable items, within those orgs. We've also seen a significant opportunity around process automation, being able to standardize things such as within the office of HR, promotion cycles, hiring new employees, and being able to automate, some of those back office items. And then around code, right? So being able to generate new code, reverse engineer, with the foundation models available today and what we as IBM have created, these are really some of the, low-hanging fruit areas that we're able to work with our customers and create a scalable opportunity.
Oh, interesting. And obviously IBM has been inside working with AI for a number of years. It seems to be lately, though, a lot of end user, different type of opportunities from an ROI perspective, a way to actually generate revenue. Seems that the game has really changed in the last year or so. Is that something you've seen also?
It's been fantastic, right? I mean, I know you mentioned we've been in the game for quite a long time, right? And I go back to, IBM being at the first AI conference held in Dartmouth in the 1950s, right? The only
Wow.
organization that presented. But our commitment to AI only continued to grow deeper, right? Fast forward all the way to Watson on Jeopardy, which was a
Right.
household event. But the real interesting part from IBM's AI journey is when we launched Project Debater around 2019, right? And with Project Debater, this was our first real showcase of our use of foundation models. And what essentially Project Debater did is it went up against a world-renowned PhD. They argued over daycare costs, in urban cities, and providing funding for that for the positive and negative. And Project Debater was able to handle that question and rebuttal, right? This was IBM's real announcement to the world around foundation models, and that is how we started growing. And from there, we've started actually building all of our products and services, all of our products on foundation models themselves. And that's why since then, our AI portfolio tends to be, the top of Gartner, within our AI products, since that time, and we're getting to market extremely fast. So the excitement that we've felt now has really been a culmination of years and years and years being dedicated to the pursuit of bringing AI, into our products, and helping our customers operationalize. So this year, you've really felt the excitement with our customers, because I have no other way to say it. IBM is cool again, right? We absolutely went through some
Cool
times.
blue.
Yeah, we absolutely went through some times where, we weren't the sexiest name on the market.
Yeah.
But I think our commitment to what, our company has been doing, in that we were able to showcase, right? We are a leader in AI, and that has attracted young, new developers at companies wanting to work with IBM, along with the Microsofts and Googles and AWSs. So it's been a really exciting year. I mean, getting, more and more opportunities to work with, new clients and old clients who maybe we haven't worked with as much. So absolutely, yeah, it's been a crazy year.
Yeah, interesting. Definitely not our parents' IBM, that's for sure. Absolutely. Hey, it's
We're not
interesting.
just mainframes anymore.
That's right. Not just big boxes, right? With a lot of blinky lights. I get it. I get it. It's been interesting over the last year with, the ChatGTP and the new aspects of AI itself. You look at AI a few years ago and it was like lots of people, big language models, lots of expense, big projects, multi-year engagements to try to get to an end result. And now it seems to be small little chunks of biteable ways to actually generate profit and ROI for businesses. Have you seen that even from a Watson or just the industry standpoint?
Yeah, and I think that, goes to what has happened over the last 12, 14 months, right? I think what ChatGPT did, and we have to give OpenAI credit, right? They really democratized the use of AI. They showed that AI doesn't have to be difficult to use. Now, they have some issues happening, right? And their use case was, a retrieval augmented generation, or Q&A, summarization, things like that. But really what they showed is, you can use these large language models to complete a number of different tasks at a fraction of the cost what it used to be, right? And so let's just take that for a second and understand why the difference, right? So the largest difference is between traditional AI and large language models. With traditional AI, we had to grab, a bunch of labeled data. We had to do supervised learning. A data engineer, data scientist had to do supervised learning. We had to prompt and come up with the answer to a task, right? We need to create hundreds of thousands of these tasks to create a functional AI model. Now, right, which timely, cost prohibitive. What if things change? You got to go and update the model constantly. And so now, with foundation models and large language models, what it's allowed us to do is take these massive data dumps, right, of unlabeled data. We're able to filter that through the model, and then do multiple natural language actions off of that, right? Q&A, summarization, classification, entity recognition. And so being able to spend less time curating data and just setting up the process allows us to really get a significantly better cost benefit of the practice. So, all in all, it's, our ability to set these up, target them, and run them is so much more cost efficient that now it's really difficult for businesses to look the other way.
Yeah, that's a great point. Even I've seen this from customers where all of a sudden, the old project model was, hey, here's a 12 to 18 month, view of how we're going to do this. Now it's like weeks or a couple of months, not only to an end result, but a monetization result. That's amazing.
Yeah, and from our experience, right? We launched our platform, we announced it, I think, in 2023 in May, and our products started coming out in July. Since then, we've run thousands of pilots and POCs, right? And these engagements to get a viable product going take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. So
Wow.
to your comparison, right, where an AI project may have taken 18, 24 months previously, you hope that the project doesn't change, that people don't leave, that the
Right.
resources are still available. We're able to see benefits in a few weeks now, right? And then you can make a decision, hey, does this look like a scalable project that we're going to see benefit from, or is it something we should scrap?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's such a paradigm shift. That's huge. So, and to your point, IBM, OpenAI, it's just amazing the way the market has changed in the last 12 to 18 months. It's just a purely difference. Maybe one last question for you, and I'll let you pontificate in any direction you want after that. We know where things are now. Obviously, it's changed a lot in the last year and a year and a half. Do you see, forward looking out, a couple of years, 2, 3, 5 years? It's hard to look that far, but are there things coming on the horizon that you're excited about?
So I think one thing before we look forward is let's just take a look at, even over the last 6 months of some things that we've learned, right? Number one, model, right? There is not going to be one model to rule them all. The companies that are taking a journey to AI, they're not just going to be using ChatGPT, right? They might be using Llama or Fawn or, any number of the hundreds of thousands of models that are available today, or something homegrown, right? So what we're seeing is, smaller targeted models at your use cases are going to help you be most effective in getting to market sooner.
Hmm.
The second is around, making sure that you have the ability to be hybrid cloud, right? Being able to put your data where you need it to be, whether if it's on a cloud data warehouse or an on-prem server, maybe it's on S3 or object storage from a cost perspective. Being able to scale and develop, with your models is going to be vital to your success. Number three, I should have said this. Number one is going to be governance.
Hmm. Right.
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 I mean, between the Biden's recent act on AI trustworthiness and security, we have the European AI Act that's already, suing multiple companies. Um, Being able to understand regulation and compliance now is going to be extremely important, because if you can't understand how your models are coming up with their answers, their output, and you don't understand the data that has gone through that journey, you may have some some additional troubles in your future, right? So
Right.
being able
Right.
to have, auditability over that. And then your data matters, right? We have to look to the foundation of what are we putting into our models. So we can't forget, what good data hygiene looks like, from the data set through ingestion, quality, observation, and so on and so forth, right? And so we need to remember that that strong foundation of data is going to give us the best results. So, those are absolutely some things we learned. Now, where is it going? You mentioned in the beginning where our low-hanging fruit is, right? Around large language models and I believe, we believe it's large language models and code right now. But there are going to be a vast amount of opportunities around other models, cybersecurity, IT services,
Mhm.
um, geospatial, right? There are going to be a number of other foundation models that you're going to see coming to market that are going to have just as an important effect as what we're doing with large language and in code models today. So I think there's going to be a huge opportunity for that to help businesses just get to market faster with their initiatives.
Yeah, yeah. Great. I tell you, I just took away some great points from that. So obviously a lot of good technical data, but for our executive listeners that are joining us also, the whole compliance piece, I think that's huge. That's definitely something to get ahead of and to pay attention as your IT teams, utilize AI solutions and build them, et cetera. Like you said, be careful of what the unintended consequences could be, correct?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. And I think, as we look forward to, right, we need to we need to make our customer, me thinking as IBM and working with our partners, our business partners who help to sell and deliver IBM software. We need to be really coaching our customers as well, what to look for when starting their journey to AI. Whether they're new or they've dabbled in the past, there are certain factors that we need to make sure they're taking into consideration, right? And number one is explainability, right? Where is the data coming from and who has access to it, right? Simple auditability of our models, ensuring that we can trust the data and we can trust who is working with the data, or we know who is working with the data. At the ethics around it, right? We need to remember as we take on, AI as part of our business, that it becomes an extension of our business, right? So ensuring that, hate, abuse, profane language, things like that are filtered out of our data sets, and that we feel very confident that output coming from the models truly represents what our brands are. We have to consider bias. Are you able to monitor your models and make sure that they don't start drifting in a certain direction? And then can you explain that drift or reset it to where it should be appropriately? And then overall, the overall theme of all of these is going to be trust. Can you trust the output? And that is absolutely a factor of, all of these other items. So
Yeah.
if you can't trust your model, you can't put it into operation. And you need to think about these other areas as you're thinking about, bringing an AI strategy into your business.
Hmm. Actually, great points. Really good points. I've got kind of an off the wall question for you. So as we go forward, are you worried about killer robots and AI taking over the world? Is that something you guys are working on in skunk work somewhere in IBM?
I mean, it's pretty. Some of these movie directors and producers are pretty impressive on what they can see from years ago, right? You remember the old movie I, Robot with
Yes.
Will
Oh,
Smith,
sure.
where it's a little terrifying because we're getting to a point where we've seen Spot, right? I've been in an IBM office with Spot, and it's pretty amazing what they can do. However, right, we're not at general intelligence, right? We are at artificial. So they're not learning on their own yet. And so I think one area that IBM is really proud of ourselves is around our ethics with this, right? So IBM has developed its own AI governance board. We started
Hmm.
the international AI ethics committee with Meta, as well as 50 other organizations and research universities around the world. And so our commitment to using AI safely, I think, is second to none. All right,
Hmm.
because we understand not only the reality of the situation, but the perception of everyone else, right? And we
Right.
need to make sure that that we are using AI responsibly. So I know it sounds crazy, but right, it's a fair question. It is something that is absolutely top of mind.
No, sure. Well, like you're great point. Hollywood scares the crap out of us all the time. So there you go. Understandable. All right. Well, Kevin, well, hey, I really appreciate the time. Anything else you wanna leave everybody with? Maybe some ideas of how to easily adopt AI, some of the next steps someone could go through if they wanted to just even within from an IBM perspective, how they could engage, a quick way to get to an idea point of where it actually AI would make sense in their business. Is there, obviously you guys must have programs in place for that?
Sure. I think one thing to be very interesting for everyone to know, right? IBM is client zero, right? We are drinking our own Kool-Aid for sure. So, we're using it in our digital. We're using large language models in our digital assistants. We're using process automation for our HR workflows, and we're absolutely using code model foundation models for building our products, right? And we can obviously go more into detail in separate sessions, but we are 100% committed to to bringing AI into our day-to-day functionality as well. I mean, for one example, we have, our own intranet, right, is now built on LLMs that we can just go in and ask natural language questions to return our answers from a number of our repositories. So
Hmm.
it's easier than ever to access information. And you can imagine with IBM being so large, right? I know it makes my job significantly easier. Um, I had a manager I was speaking with who told me the onboarding process to bring a new employee into his group that used to take 3 hours now takes 20 minutes
Hmm.
because of the automation of that. And so I think the really exciting part is going to be, we know some of um, the low-hanging fruit that I discussed before, the entry points for AI, but I'm going to be really excited about continuing to dive in with our customers to develop new strategies and new
Right.
ways to
Right.
use it, right? And how we can help them be more productive and efficient. Um, and I think the sky is really the limit on that.
Right.
So outside of that, I think one thing that, we really pride ourselves on, one thing, I should say there's a few things that we really pride ourselves on and why we think, customers are looking to us for this at this point is number one, our commitment to being open, right? And by open, we mean that in several factors. Number one, obviously with our partnership with Red Hat, right? Build once, run anywhere. Um, we have an open our data lakehouse architecture, to run our models on is built on open Iceberg metadata format, as well as Spark and Presto engines. And then our partnership with Hugging Face allows you to pick best of breed models, right? So you can pick and choose which IBM has our own homegrown models, of course, but you can compare that to the most popular models on the market from Meta or Google.
Yeah.
Soon, you're going to be able to bring your own model, right? Whether if it's homegrown or if it's another one of the hundreds of thousands of models out there, right? You'll be able to bring that on our platform and engage with it through its life cycle, right? From building and tuning through governance. So that commitment to being open, I think, we already mentioned it, the trust factor, our ability to govern the model life cycle, to manage risk, and ensure governance and compliance around that is going to be enormous over the next few years. And then we are very committed to targeted models, right? We don't want to be your only model, right? We want to be a very targeted model for you to achieve a certain business outcome, right? Because
Mhm.
running smaller models is going to come at a significantly smaller cost. And then we want to empower, those that are working with us. And by empower, I mean, you don't just have to take our model and use it, right? If you need to, you can fine tune that to whatever you know, is going to best achieve the results that your company is looking for. So, use our models as is, or fine tune it and make it your own. It's really just offering, our partners and customers choice around how they want to go to market. And so between those few things, right? We mentioned some things that partners and customers should be asking in the marketplace. This is our response to that. And we're really looking forward to working and building, with our partners and customers this year and into the future. I think we're going to see some exciting new updates and announcements. I can't necessarily say too much um, with NDAs in place, but it's going to be
Sure.
another really exciting year for
Come on,
IBM.
tell us the secrets. Come on. No one's listening.
I'd say buy your tickets to Think in Boston in 2020, and I'll see you there.
Ah, there you go. Okay. Well, I tell you, it's interesting your perspective, what you just said of how open IBM is when traditionally IBM's history, between mainframes, mid-range, a lot of software, it's been a very closed ecosystem. So this is an amazing change of business. And also to your other point, the fact that IBM has got AI in its DNA going back 60, 70 years is truly impressive. No question about it.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And I would say finally with next steps, right? Reach out to Keith and team. He can get in touch with myself. We're always happy to have a conversation to explore, you know, wherever you are in your AI journey. If you already have some ideas on use cases and where your potential could be, or we can help with a brainstorming perspective. But we typically start with just having a general point of view conversation around where we are today, how did we get here, and where we think everything is going, and then we build from there. So if you have any if there's any interest in following up, reach out to Keith and team, and we look forward to having any additional conversations.
You got it. Well, Kevin, thanks a lot, and I will have you on again when you guys get the killer robots ready to go too. So we'll be ready for that conversation.
Looking forward to it, Keith.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Really appreciate your time today and all your input. And we'll see you again on another podcast shortly. Thank you.
All right. Talk soon. Have a good one.
Thank you too. Okay. Hey, thank you for joining us on this Tech News Today session. We really appreciate your time and strive to provide valuable content. If you'd like to be notified when we post new videos, please like and subscribe to this channel. We produce over 250 technology events every year, focusing on the tech value and the good and bad impacts on business. Topics include cybersecurity, AI, cloud strategy, and other current technology solution topics. We have AR webinars scheduled this month where the focus will be on real-world AI use case information, how to get started, and industry examples of what you can quickly implement to start your AI journey and generate real ROI. If you're interested in attending, please see the link below or send me an email to kparks@innovateims.com, and we will send your invitations to our upcoming events. Thanks again for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you on a future TNT session. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.
Tech News Today.